Howdy everyone, I'm going to attempt to make some sort of a basics or leveling guide as well for the Buzzsaw spec, which is the thread you should be in right now, I guess. So, this is a character I made for the 1 month league and it was completely self-found. Currently at level 59. First things first, when you're picking the class, you can pretty much go Ranger, Scion, or Shadow. Now, depending on which one you pick, will only really change your starting few passives. So if you go Scion, you're having the extra attack speed. If you go Shadow, you grab a few bit of attack speed, the movement speed node, which is somewhat of a waste, and some projectile nodes. Or Ranger, you end up wasting a 20 accuracy node, but grabbing some other things. I started with Ranger this time because I wanted a high-level Ranger character. Which one you pick is entirely up to you. It's not too big of a deal. So when you start off, the way I start off when I start is I go for these. I grab Ballistic Mastery straight away. I go down to Finesse, go up, and I grab Charisma. I then go up here, grab Haste, Lives. At this point, once you pick up Wrath, you should be running your Wrath and casting off of mana. Once you can get over to Harrier, and then this next 5% reduction node, I believe you'll have enough to be able to run Anger as well. Most of the classes we start with don't get Anger as an option, so you'll have to trade for it. The way I kind of level as a rule of thumb is as soon as I can use Wrath and Anger together, I'll use them and I'll start attacking with a Blood Magic gem. So that's this here attached to my Spectral Throw, Lesser Multiple Projectiles, and Weapon Elemental Damage. These are your base 4. So you'll be running off of life at that point. This should happen around level 24. Well, that's as early as you can use Blood Magic. At that point, you keep going up to here, grab the life nodes if you need them first, or go for the aura nodes. It's entirely up to you. From there, you can either fill out some extra life. That's not what I choose to do, at least while playing standard or non-hardcore leagues. I then go straight up to Inner Force, and then I try and get the other aura nodes as soon as possible. But you can stop off and grab these life nodes. After that, you'd go for these life nodes, and wed those life nodes. But at this point, you should be around level 60, and Resolute Techniques will be a pretty decent DPS boost for you. You want Resolute Techniques because we don't have much crit, and it's very hard to get any more crit out of the tree that I have made. So it's just not worth trying to be crit, and Resolute Techniques covers up all your misses. So it's actually quite a very nice DPS boost, letting you not worry about accuracy on your items at all. As you're leveling, try and pick up some items with life. So here's pretty good boots for leveling, I'd say. Some life, some movement speed, bit of resist. Life, and a few resists, like a pretty average chest. Some life, a couple of resists. And if you can't get life on it, not a huge deal, but some wed, weapon elemental damage, or some actual added fire, or added lightning, added cold, it's all good. Some damage as well is nice. But typically you want to level while getting lots of life. While you're leveling, unless you want to swap out your weapon elemental damage gem for life leech or life gain on hit, you won't be getting any life back while attacking. So I run with 2 instant pots and a couple of slower ones. This seems to keep me alive for the most part, but also it helps to level with a claw that gives 15 life gain for every hit. So it's kind of a small life gain on hit gem. I find that actually helps quite a lot while leveling. And the fastest possible weapon doesn't really matter too much at the earlier stages, because anger and wrath don't scale so massively at the lower levels. Still help quite a bit. So as you can see, my DPS here is 500 without my auras up. And yeah, it's just a mishmash of bits and bobs of damage. You turn on your wrath, turn on your anger, turn on your haste. At this point, I've almost reduced all of my mana. So I'm going to be attacking entirely off of life. And my damage is 2100. Now that's at not even level 60 with some very, very modest gear. You're attacking like so, covering up your lost life with your potions. I use a topaz flask right now because I don't have that much resist, and I find lightning to be the most dangerous. Your movement skills will either be whirling blades or leap slam. It's up to you. Whirling blades is a bit more reactionary. It works probably a bit more fast-paced. Quality on it is quite helpful. So you attach either one to faster attacks, it makes it a faster skill for you to use. Then you can zoom around. It's pretty cheap, so if you have just a little bit of mana left over still, you typically don't need to attach it to blood magic. But once you're reserving all of your mana, that's when blood magic comes in handy for it. I have also been using a single target skill while leveling. It's at the moment not linked to anything, but weapon elemental damage, faster attacks, etc. is very nice to link those two. But it is also at the moment pretty cheap because it's not linked to anything. And it does probably a bit more damage than the Spectral Throw itself for single target. At least when linked to things it will, and it helps while leveling. Once you're at a high enough level, you don't really need the single target skill. You would just be using Spectral Throw for your entire arsenal. As for life gain on hit versus life leech, life gain on hit starts out a lot better than life leech because you don't do that much damage for your percent-based leech to kick into action. So as you level it, it gets better, and probably at around level 65 to 70 is when life leech will start to take over from life gain on hit. But for me personally, I don't use either of them until I have a 5-link. But if you feel like you need the extra survivability, drop the weapon elemental damage, put in the life leech or the life gain on hit. Your DPS does go down, as you can see, by about a third. As soon as you can, probably around level 60, you really want a weapon over 2 attack speed. Something similar to this, but if it also has increased attack speed, would be very nice. You need a reduced mana attached to your anger, haste, and wrath. And as it levels up, it'll reduce more and more as you get all of your aura nodes. Finish these off, the 4 reduced manas. You will start to be able to use your purities as well. So I, at the moment, only have my Purity of Lightning being leveled. But ideally, you want Purity of Lightning and Purity of Fire at the same time, because the majority of the damage you deal is fire and lightning. So this helps immensely with Reflect. They give extra maximum resistances. It only gives 2 at the moment. It gives 4 at its maximum level. That paired with Elemental Adaptation, which you will have, will end up giving you 84 to both lightning and fire resist, which is very, very tanky indeed. As well as that, fire and lightning seem to be the predominant damage sources from the harder hitting monsters in the game, so it helps to have a substantial amount of resist for those. Not sure there is too much else to say. It doesn't really matter what weapon you level with at the beginning, just pick whatever does the most damage. So even if it's two-hander, that's fine. The first 20-30 levels, that's perfectly fine. Just use a equip whatever weapon you find that looks good. If it does more damage than your previous weapon, use that. It's not a big deal. But as I said, the claws that will give the life gain on hit will make your life a little bit easier as you're leveling, especially. Yeah, that's about it. Quality on gems, It really helps. As you can see, 4% increased attack speed on Spectral Throw for 8 quality, so for a full 20 it gives you 10. That's the same with less multiple projectiles and faster attacks. The quality on all your gems there is 30% attack speed, which is, yeah, substantial. As you level with your auras, as they get higher, your damage increases every single time your gems increase. So it's a pretty, it's not a very gear dependent spec. Like I said, I mean, I've got awful gear here, and this is the typical kind of gear I get to level 80 to 90 at the start of a new league with. You don't need the Alpha Tower, you don't need the 5-link. The 5-link is, it's very nice to get as soon as possible. The Alpha Tower, that'll probably be the first big ticket item you want to buy, because it's very, it boosts your damage quite a bit, helps you not be frozen, gives you evasion. It's an all-rounder for this spec, but it's not 100% necessary. Yeah, as long as the spec doesn't change too much with the new patch, I'll probably be running it again for the start of the leagues, because I feel it's that well-rounded, and it can take me through anything I need to do. Curse is right. Projectile weakness is probably what you're going to be exposed to the first early on, which is actually very nice to use. It'll knock back some things, but it also increases your projectile damage and prevents, basically tops up your hit. So you have a few bit of chance to miss, but this prevents anything from dodging you anymore. So even right now, when I have, what do we got? 83% chance to hit, this will make it 100%. By the time I have Resolute Techniques, I'll definitely want to be using my Elemental Weakness. But you don't get that until some few levels later than Projectile Weakness. That is your main curse, so Elemental Weakness. Projectile Weakness is just there in case you don't have Elemental Weakness. Yeah. I hope I covered everything. If there's any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Maybe I'll try and make up a filler video just in case. That's about it. You'll whirl around or run. You have pretty decent run speed. You'll shoot things, and we'll have a great time doing it. So yeah, I hope everyone's still enjoying the spec. I hope this video helps a little bit as far as how to do the spec. And yeah, see you all in the new 4-month league. Thanks for watching, guys.